How you
Still
doing?
trying to scam people for primers.
So what's the scam? I'll meet you somewhere with just send me the money and
Yeah, they'll want to want you to wire transfer money or Venmo it or PayPal or something, and then just not send you the product. And they do a pretty good job. Like it looks pretty convincing.
yeah.
Like they put a lot of pictures up and
I've seen some frauds on Gunbroker.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is all of a sudden somebody with zero sales shows up with a brand new account and they're listing like $15,000-$20,000 items for $5,000.
Uh-huh.
Right. Buy it now, $5,000. And I almost fell for one time. It wasn't a $5,000 item, but I said, there's just something wrong here. And I looked at the guy's history. There's zero history, and it says other items are selling. And it's like, Perazzis. It's like no one's going to just show up and drop Perazzis. So it ended up being a big scam. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, I kind of got lucky. The guy I found, he had a lot of social media history. And then when I found out he was scamming people and put them on blast, he had to go to like backup accounts that have no history. So now it's easier to find them.
Creeps. How many primers you need?
Like 100,000.
What caliber?
Oh, pretty much
what
like
size?
Small pistol is what I try to find right now.
Yeah, that's tough. 100,000 is a lot.
No, like I'd take 5,000 if I came across it,
Yeah, well, PM me.
Okay.
And just Venmo me some money and maybe you'll get some primers.
I could definitely work through that.
Don't blast me, bro. What you got in the background there? Looks like I'm in the toy garage here.
Yeah, my Camaro and my buggy.
Nice. That's 69?
67. Yeah.
It was one or the other.
Oh, it's in primo condition, it looks like.
That's pretty good shape.
Very nice. And the buggy.
It's just a Rhino. But...
Very nice. All right. So when's your next 3-gun?
So next 3-gun's in January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have anything coming up? I've been looking through the schedule.
At West End, not so much. I mean, other than the pistol match is the second Saturday.
That's the 13th, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm going to shoot that. And then there's a couple big matches coming up in December and November that I'm going to shoot. There's a left out pistol match in Havasu. I'm going to shoot in November.
What's it called?
So it's a left out. It's called the left out match. I don't know why they call it that, but it's a 2-day pistol match. It's pretty hard to get into. And every year I see videos from the stages after people have gone and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have gone and shot that. And this year I got into it and I'm going to go shoot it. And I don't normally shoot pistol only matches.
It's not all just left-handed.
Nope. No, I don't know. I don't know why it is the name it is. I'm going to ask Dennis, the match director of that.
Probably because he got mad because he was left out of some special match. So he started his own.
Probably. Knowing him, yes.
That's the way guys are.
Probably how it is.
I hate you, Bob pistol match.
That's usually my motivation for a lot of things. Like you do me wrong, I'm probably going to do you dirty.
Very good. All right. And what I want to talk about is training. I want to talk about competitions. I want to talk about equipment.
Okay.
All right. Hey, did you see the news on Kyle Rittenhouse's case?
No. What was that?
Well,
that was cool.
Yeah, we could talk a little bit about that too. But it's basically, I think they actually have a judge who understands a few things. So I'll comment on it. I'll
refresh my memory of who he is again.
I will, but I want to get you live on that.
Okay.
That way, if you make a mistake, I can, catch it on there. By the way, we're recording now.
All right, I'll shut up then.
Would you please?
Yeah.
He's always talking in my head.
Well, even when I'm not talking in your head, you hear it. That's the scary part.
It's not just voices.
Well, if I hear it, then you are. All right. Now, can you see the chat on the side? Chat screen?
No.
So go down below, click the chat so it opens up. So we're going to run our timer on that.
Okay.
So we have four sessions, 10-minute, 30-second sessions.
I'll give you like a 30-minute or 30-second warning.
Yeah. We have a 10-minute session. He gives me a 30-minute.
You got 30 minutes left.
Thanks, Dan. It's the little things in life. So anyway, that'll help us. You'll see it pop up there, so we can know if I'm trying to get you to shut up. It's not because I just want to talk. We got a commercial. Yeah. And we'll be posting this on gab.com and on our YouTube channel. So you'll be famous.
Yeah.
It's pretty excited about that.
All right. Yeah. Let's get some.
All right. Send it.
All right, here we go.
Good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Firing Lion Radio Show. I'm your happy host. I hope you had a great, happy host Philip Naiman. Hope you had a great couple of weeks there with Rick Travis. Rick was kind enough to come in and share the microphone, and I know he always does a great job. And I've heard great accolades on the show with Sheriff Chad Bianco, and he's a great guy. And so, we're just very, very glad to have a better quality fill-in host than your regular host. Now, I'm not afraid to say that. I know my limitations, and I'm just glad to have somebody of that quality to step up. And not only that, but this California Rifle and Pistol Association, they are doing yeoman's work, as you heard the last 2 weeks, that all the things that they're doing, fighting for your rights in California, because here in the People's Republic of occupied California, calling in from, enemy territory in Excremento, we are fighting every single day for our Second Amendment rights. And as you're noticing, Second Amendment rights are just one of them that they're trying to attack. Your right of freedom, your freedom of movement is something that they're going on. Your freedom of your body. My body, my choice went out the window a long time ago, I think, with this particular crowd. So if you have not joined the California Rifle and Pistol Association, join them now. Go to crpa.org, sign up, crpa.org. Joining me today, folks, I have a very special guest, Mike Bauer. Mike Bauer is a match director for a couple of matches at West End Gun Club. He's a hell of a shooter. He's a big guy, and you got to see him run on his tiptoes. This guy's actually quicker than you think. He's He's a heck of a shooter, and he dances around the targets pretty darn quick too. So, Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we had you once or twice before.
I think once before.
Once, but it was so fun. It felt like twice. Yeah, that must have been it. No, so tell us a little bit about your match directing over at West End.
Okay, so I've been the match director and board member at West End Gun Club for about 3 years now. I run what's specifically called the 3-gun discipline, but we actually shoot the multi-gun discipline, which includes 3-gun, traditional 3-gun, 2-gun, PCC only, and something called unlimited. And it's the fourth Saturday of every month. We start back up again January of 2022. I think it's the 22nd of January. You do not have to be a member to attend. We get started about 8 o'clock in the morning. We shoot to about 2:30, and we have a great group of experienced shooters as well as newer shooters every month. So if you haven't done competition stuff or you're trying multi-gun, you're scared, come on out. I guarantee you'll have a good time.
I know, scared.
If you don't, I'll give you a big old hug and welcome you back.
Folks, you should be scared of his big old hug. I'm just going to say that. That's the most dangerous thing out there on the range. So November 13th is your next match. Now, if you're not familiar with West End Gun Club, a lot of people say it's over by Lytle Creek, but it is not the Lytle Creek Range. Lytle Creek Range is its own entity with its own issues. The West End Gun Club is a little slice of heaven where you're allowed to pop primers. And so at the bottom of the canyon, if you're heading towards Lytle Creek, just past the National Forest marker, is a small road. You'll see a stop sign. And what's the name of that canyon? Myers Canyon or
Myers Canyon.
Myers Canyon.
It's about a mile off the 15 on Sierra.
Yep. Mile up, make a right-hand turn. If you enter the canyon, you've gone too far. And make a right-hand turn on Myers Canyon Road. It's a dirt road. Sometimes you will need a four-wheel drive if the water's running. If we had water in Southern California, you do have one creek crossing. And so low pro, Priuses are not advised, but there's have winches.
Guys who drive like really nice cars in though. And
they do.
It's
And
a
we
little
have
rough.
winches.
Just go slow. It'll be okay.
We have winches on our trucks just for you. So, you can get in there with a streetcar. Take your time because it is a bit of a bumpy road back there. But a low profile, you're on your own. A regular car shouldn't have a problem back there.
Bring a buddy
With a shovel.
with a truck. Go with your buddy who drives the truck.
All right, so that's where it's at. It's a semi-private range. And I say semi-private because members can bring people in. There's two forms of membership for the West End Gun Club. Mike, you're a board member. Why don't you tell us about that?
So there's a limited annual membership where you can shoot on our main range, which is like a standard firing line, kind of like Lattle Creek, for example.
It's got 45 rifle slots.
Yeah.
30-foot bench for pistol.
Yep. 30, up to 30 yards for pistol. It's 100 yards for rifle. It's paved. It's covered. It's pretty nice. It's around $150 a year, I think. And there are memberships available.
So say that again, because everybody's been freaked out if nothing's been available.
So there are limited memberships available. So where you can go and shoot on the main line, right? Which is, it's not a private bay, but if you need to go zero something, it's fine. It's only open Friday, Saturday, Sunday from like 7 to 4. But it's a nice place to shoot, it is the Bermuda Triangle. So prepare for that weather-wise.
Yeah. So it can be. Now the lots of wind sometimes. Now the limited members, they don't get a key combination, right?
Correct. You go and shoot when the range masters are there, which is
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Now, if you want to become a full member, like I started, it's about a 4 or 5 year wait, approximately. The membership is capped at 1,600 members right now, and we do change that occasionally depending on the facilities. We've added to the range a lot. We have a 300-yard rifle line. We have a really nice skeet trap range now that I've gone and shot at. It's really fun.
And that's been closed for years.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm actually looking for members to go up there and shoot it because it's been closed for so long. People have forgotten about it.
I've actually been a member for 8 years, and I've never shot it. So tell us about that, because that is a new deal.
Yeah. So it's pretty much your standard trap and skeet line where you have the cross flying skeet and then a trap house out front and the horseshoe with the voice activated throwers. I think it's about $7 for 25 plays approximately. If you go on to wegc.org, you'll look at the calendar and you can see when the shotgun discipline is shooting, as well as when the shotgun range is open.
So it's not any time. You can't just go up there and throw your own birds.
There's a schedule, right?
Okay.
So it's a little tricky. Look at the calendar. That's the best thing to do. Bring a friend. Super fun. Guaranteed. There's about
in a limited member shoot trap and skeet.
On a discipline day, yes. So it has to be like the shotgun match day. But it'd be better to go with a member. Or you can make friends.
Well, I think the thing with being a full member is, if you buy us lunch, we might let you come along. Isn't that usually the thing?
Yeah.
You just want to hug people. I get that. That's on you. I'll stick with lunch.
I'm not picky.
He's not picky.
I gotta take the scraps I can get.
There's an in and out at the bottom of the hill. I'll be there.
Yeah.
There you go. So West End Gun Club's awesome place. A lot of fun, really good people. The matches are fun. Now, I've made this point several times, and I'll probably have to make it several times more. It says match. It says competition. Look, if you're thinking about going out for the first time, don't let that aspect of it bother you.
You'll be okay.
Know this up front. You're not going to win. So just take that level of anxiety right off you right away. Okay. There are amazing shooters out there, and you can be a great shooter, but there are amazing shooters out there. So until you've been out there and in the circuit for a while, you're probably not going to win unless you're, Bob Munden revamped or something like that. Yep. So take that part off of you, but use it as a great training exercise. And let's go through the different programs that you have here. November 13th is your next one. And that is
pistol.
So what is practical pistol?
Practical pistol is a pistol only match. Okay. So it's primarily patterned after USPSA, for example. So you kind of call it run and gun. It's maybe 20, 25 rounds a stage, two rounds in the paper. some steel. You got a little bit of movement, not a ton, but it's a good way to start competitive shooting and just dipping your toes in, because you only have a pistol to deal with. They also allow PCCs, which are pistol caliber carbines, like 9mm rifles.
308.
No, so just pistol caliber stuff.
Well, I have a 308 pistol, so I'm sorry, but technically I got you. The 308 is a pistol caliber.
So anything under like 1,400 feet per second, you're okay.
I'll load it
There's
down.
a couple guys that come shoot their cowboy guns. It's super fun to squad with those guys.
Yeah. So you have different choices. You have the ability to try some things. The PCC is really a interesting group. I mean,
super fun.
And when you see the difference, I mean, if people are talking about, there you go.
I just brought one.
Very nice.
I brought my new one out for you guys.
We're going to talk about that. So we'll talk about some of the equipment when we come back here. But on the PCC, what I'm seeing is for home defense, guys are this pistol, this shotgun. Hey, when you see how somebody runs a PCC, that's probably the smartest way to go.
Yes.
And they're not that expensive, except for the one Mike bought, which we'll go over. Which is probably more expensive than the Camaro in his background there. Yeah. Folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. We'll be right back after this. Check out West End Gun Club, WEGC.org, the calendars where all the shoots are. We'll be right back after this.
Is it too early for cocktails?
See? It's Dr. Doom's deadly drink.
Oh. Is that Death Proof coffee?
No, this was actually the death race I ran in Mojave years ago.
That sounds terrible.
In July. It was awesome. 300 miles.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
It was fun. Uh-oh, we lost Mike.
Sorry, I lost you.
In July in
Come
Mojave.
back to us.
I was making sure my phone's not.
It's a 300-mile loop from Prim through Kelso Baker and back to Prim.
Is that the Baker race? Is that
no, those guys run 3 miles at a time.
That's how far I run.
We had 12 stages to cover 300 miles. You figured it out, right?
Yeah.
It was running on cycle. I did the cycle.
I like doing stupid stuff, but that's stupid.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. I really enjoyed that.
And now you've had how many knee surgeries since then?
Since then, 3.
See, there you go.
Before then, only 1.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's not from that. It's, it's the injury when I was 23 that just eventually came home to roost.
Cartilage out. No, let's say, yeah.
When you're 23 and you blow out all your cartilage,
you're running bone on bone.
Yeah. Well, I did last 30 years. So anyway, enough of my story. You guys ready?
Here we go.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Boomstick Radio. And we're going to be talking about boomsticks right after this. But as you know, every week we are sponsored by Bullseye Sports Guns and Ammo in Riverside, the best darn gun shop you're ever going to run into. So head on down there to see Vince between Arlington and Central off of Brockton. Bullseye Sports Guns and Ammo. bullseyesports.com, 951-823-0211. You're going to go in there, ask him for a PCC and 9mm. He's going to show you a Ruger. He's going to show you some AR-15 platforms, but that's what you're going to want because we're about to talk about that with Mr. Mike Bauer here from West End Gun Club. So PCC for home defense. Think about that. Vince has got him, 951-823-0211, bullseyesport.com. Thank him for his sponsorship while you're there, and God bless you. Folks, Philip Naiman back with Mike Bauer. Mike Bauer, a board member of West End Gun Club, and frankly, a pretty darn good shooter. So I've seen this guy shoot on my squad, and he's not a very economical shooter. Yeah, it's true. What I mean by that is when I go and I shoot a match, I get to shoot for a much longer time than he does. So if you think about the number of shots I fire over the course of time, it's less expensive for me to shoot than for him. He's like there 5 seconds, he's done. It's like, come on, man, make it last a while. So then I find out at the end that you actually get scored the lower is better. And oh boy, surprise on me. Anyway, he's a very fast shooter, good guy, Mike Bauer. Mike, we just cut this last section. We were talking about personal PCCs, personal or pistol cartridge carbines, right?
Yes, sir.
You just happened to pick one up there.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So I have a new PCC
folks, if you're not watching this online at gab.com or on YouTube, go there and you'll actually see what he's got. But I'll try and do an audible here as he's doing a visual display.
So what I have here is a 9mm AR-15 based platform pistol caliber carbine from Titan Ballistics. Buddy of mine owns that shop down in Orange County. They make a really good rifle at a pretty fair price. And
about $100.
Yeah, at a zero and some.
It's about 100
euros, around like $1,500 for a higher end one.
It's about $100. Everything on this, Mike, guy could be driving with his wife.
If your wife's asking,
it's about $100. It's just your mileage may vary. Let's go with that.
They can work out a payment program.
All right, show us some of the features on this. What makes this special?
So really what makes it special is that it's a Glock pattern magazine. So it takes standard Glock mags. Ergonomically, same as the AR-15.
Hold up the magazine well to the photograph. So folks, if you're looking at this, a lot of people who have Glock style adapters go into an AR-15 lower, and that can give you some issues. This one's forged specifically for Glock magazines. That's going to make it feed and hold much better.
And just be more reliable. And everybody's got a Glock mag. They're easy to find, no big deal. These guns, I think one of the coolest things about them is they're really light. Like this one's carbon fiber handguards, like 7 pounds. They're really popular with the ladies, the kids. They don't have a ton of recoil.
Say it like Rico would. Popular with the ladies. Say it. Come on. Popular with the ladies.
I'll do that one off the camera.
How about your optics?
So I use a Hollow Sun 510C red dot. It's probably my favorite red dot optic.
Who makes that? Hollow Sun?
Hollow Sun. Yeah, it's like looking through a giant windshield. It's really a great red dot optic.
So it's very easy for you to pick up.
Yes. Yeah.
How did you make that California legal?
So I have that one's on the list. So I registered that one.
You registered? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I registered that one. I have some that aren't, and then if it's not, you got to use a fin grip and et cetera, et cetera. So, like anything, it goes without saying, like no one's exempt from the laws. You have to adhere to those things, but if you do the right channels, you can have different things.
And let's talk about that, because I have seen some guys do some silly things. You're going to a match. It's a public match. All right. We might all be gun guys, but you don't know who's showing up there. You would be foolish to say, well, I want to take 3 seconds off my time and not run a fin on my AR-15. Okay. That could change your life materially forever. So everything's got to be above board. You've got to have, if you don't have the right to have more than 10 round magazines, you better be running 10s. I mean, make sure that you are there. We don't want to see anybody's life get screwed up over a stupid technical rule that, Gabby nuisance has put in on us. So we want to make sure, folks, that you're safe, and we want to make sure that you're legal, as in what the rules are today that we have to comply with, because this is a public match. Everybody's out there.
Yep. And we have classes for, 10 round guns and all that kind of stuff.
Well, talk about that, because that's always confusing. I go on to practice score and it says, are you limited 10? Are you a production? What is this?
So in every shooting discipline, you have different classes, right? So for example, at USPSA, we have production, which is a standard 10 round.
Do you have a Clydesdale class for guys over 200 pounds?
Yeah, I think it's 1911 single stack. That's the old guy class, the boomer class. That's what we call it. You shoot 45, the bullet's like this big.
Well, you got to be able to see the holes.
You got to use 2-inch tape to cover it.
Wait till your eyes go, man. You'll be wanting to shoot 50 caliber too.
Yeah, but until then, I'm gonna talk smack.
And by then, the guys you were talking smack to will all be dead. So
you guys, I mean, you're like 102, so it's got like 10 more years. So yeah. So anyways, like there's a ton of different classes.
Don't describe them. So there's limited, there's production.
Yep.
Give us a rundown. Wait, let me go with this. So for the pistol match that's coming up, what are the classes?
So you got production, which
means
a Glock 34, 10 round, 9mm.
Off the shelf,
Regular-
then nothing to it.
Yep. Iron sight.
And a 10 round magazine.
Yep.
Iron sight only.
Iron sight only. Limited is a major power factor. So a 40 cal gun, up to like 20 rounds in the mag or so. Iron sights again. You got limited 10, which no one shoots, so don't worry about that. You got single stack, which is that's Phillips boomer class. You got 45, 1911, 8-round mags. Like, I don't know why anybody would want to shoot that. And then you have probably the most popular class in two most popular classes that matches now are carry optics, which is a slide ride, striker fire, or CZ style gun. You can have up to the 23 in the mag. There's just a linked configuration. So full size mags, regular capacity mags, however you want to call that. Super popular for carry guns, all that kind of stuff. So if you got a Glock 19 with a slide dot, shoot it. And then we have PCC, so pistol caliber carbine. That's pretty much anything goes. There's no optics restrictions or anything like that. And then you got open, which is like the full race guns, frame mounted optics, like all the things. So if you're not sure what division to sign up to, just pick one and show up to the match and say, hey, I'm not sure this is right. I'm new. We'll get you paired up with somebody who's a little more experienced who can coach you through the match and video your mistakes, and we'll laugh at you in a good way. And then, like in general, it's a pretty good community to get you through things.
So I've been distracted by the pup. She just came in here.
Well,
My dog is Remy. She's sitting right here at the bottom of the desk, and she has a superpower. Her superpower is leaning.
I'm the other way. I'd blow up like a balloon. Like if I could lose weight, it'd be amazing.
Take off, hoser. Okay, going out. That's good radio, folks.
So what Philip's not telling you is, even if you're not a great shooter or you don't know what to do, you haven't had any experience, show up to one of the matches, and there's a pretty friendly crowd that'll get you started. At least that's our goal.
That's what I was going to say, but yeah, thanks. So November 13th, you sign up on Practice Score, right?
Yep.
And I think there's a link from the calendar section of westendwegc.org. Go to the calendar section, click on the match you want to shoot. There should be a link there to Practice Score.
Yep.
Practice Score is a website that is free. You just sign up and it will help you sign into many, many different matches from all over the place. I noticed you said you're going to fourth Saturday of the month.
So the 3-gun match that I run is always the fourth Saturday. So we're done till the end of the year. So we start back up in January. The practical pistol match is always the second Saturday. And there's even another multi-gun match on third Saturday. So West End itself has a multitude of disciplines that you can shoot. Bolt rifle, there's a kids youth group, there's cowboy, there's IDPA, there's a ton of different disciplines. So even if multi-gun doesn't really scratch your itch, there's probably one that does.
Yeah. So I think the precision rifle match is going to be on the fourth Saturday also. Isn't that correct?
Yes. It's going to be, I think running the upper range. So I use the bottom range. She uses the upper range.
All right. Yeah, just saw an email on that this morning. I just want to make sure that somebody on the board squared that out. All right. So there are memberships available for West End Gun Club and WEGC.org. Folks, this is Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. We'll be right back after this. Check us out at gab.com/Firing Line Radio.
The time really does go so fast. It's incredible.
Yep.
I don't know how ladies feel.
No.
What was it? 2 other things you wanted to hit on? It was training and something else.
Well, we talked about some of your gear. Let's talk about your pistol gear.
Okay.
Because you're shooting an STI or something?
Yeah, I shoot a custom STI.
Does yours go bang every time? I've seen others that are just like an occasional pop.
No.
It's bang, rack, rack, bang, rack, rack. It's like a waltz. Bang, rack, rack, bang, rack, rack, bang, rack, rack. So come on, guys.
Those are rookies.
I'm telling you, I've seen it.
I see it too, but I don't run my gear on the ragged edge. I run it to where I can abuse the hell out of it and it still runs great. So,
all right. I have to make fun of Mike because that's his song. Bang, rack, rack.
yeah, he's got the most worn gun I've ever seen in my entire life. I wasn't gonna throw him under the bus, but yeah,
That's
he needs
funny.
to throw that away.
3, 2.
Callie, go lay down.
It's Revenge of the Dogs today.
I know she's mad that we're out here. She wants to party.
All right, Manuel, we're ready.
Here we go.
Spartans, lay down your weapons. Come and get them.
Hello, folks. Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. Before we get back into this West End Gun Club thing and shooting and IDPA and IPSC and all the other great stuff that's going on out there, this week, I don't know if you guys have noticed on the news here, but this week, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial is going to go. Now, I'm getting old. I meant to start the show with this, but I forgot. So here we are, third session in. Want to talk about this a little bit. But those of you who don't remember who Kyle Rittenhouse is, he was the young man in Kenosha, Wisconsin, that was at a BLM rally and was attacked by a giant mob of people. He had an AR-15 with him. One guy, Kyle was running away from him, decided to throw a Molotov cocktail at him from behind. Gentle soul, right, would do that. I think he was actually a convicted pedophile or something of that nature. Anyway, he's no longer with us. The second guy, as this young man was running away from the crowd, was tripped up from behind, was smacked in the side of the head with a skateboard used as a tomahawk, and that guy received a high-speed training award for his issue, and he's no longer with us. And then the third guy ran in carrying a pistol in his hand, very clearly in the video, aimed at Kyle. And the young man's fired and hit this gentleman rioter in the elbow. Now, the funny thing about that, if you could say that's a funny thing, is that the damage to the hand didn't allow him to drop the pistol. It like clenched. So all the time this pistol is still in his hand while he's trying to treat the wound. And anyway, the evidence stayed in the hand is what I'm saying there. He can't say, I was just trying to get his autograph. And no, this stinking black pistol was still in his hand after the shot. Anyway, they're going to try this young guy, and it's going to be an interesting case. The judge. So have you heard much about this at all, Mike?
No, I haven't heard about where it's at. I vividly remember the video. That was gnarly.
Yeah, I honestly think he showed great restraint.
I would have been shooting early.
You'd have been yelling for ammo.
Yeah.
I need more ammo.
Yeah,
They need medics. I need ammo. But here's the issue on that, guys. He's going to court, right? This has happened. He's going to go to court on this. He's been arrested. I think he's been in jail for a long time over this, which has materially changed his life. And the judge just ruled this week that the court cannot refer to the liberation participants in Kenosha, Wisconsin as victims. They have to call them what they were, rioters. So they can't say that the schmuck that threw the Molotov cocktail at him was a victim. No, he was a rioter. He was out there causing problems. He was lighting fires. What hate level do you have to have for somebody to try and throw a Molotov cocktail at them, to burn them alive?
I don't think people think like that. I don't think those people thought like that.
That's what he did.
I think they just thought it was fun. They didn't realize like how serious those things go.
Well, he's thinking about it now.
Should be.
Well, he would be, but he's pushing up daisies, and rightly so. Anyway, so this is going on. So I want you guys to watch this in the news, see what's going on with that. Listen to the slants from CNBC and all the other idiots out there about how terrible this young man is. But I don't think he was. In my humble opinion, and it's my opinion only, which since you've paid for it, it's worth exactly what you paid for it. I think he was self-defense all the way, you know. And actually somebody, I've even said this, is like, well, he shouldn't have brought the firearm down to this riot. Well, he didn't, apparently. So they armed up after they got there and saw the circumstances of what was going on. So it's not like he just showed up from 3 states away and brought his firearm and said, hey, let's go party. That's not what happened. He went down there to help. The situation was so bad, they had to arm up over there. So anyway, pray for him. I think he's been railroaded by a bad justice system. And that's something that you should think about when we're dealing with things here in California too. So anyway, Mike, you have any opinion on that?
I think the best way to avoid those types of repercussions is to avoid the entire situation if possible. So if there's any way to get out of any situation and avoid shooting, that's the way to go. I think Kyle did the right thing. He was running away. It came down to he had no choice.
He really didn't.
I watched the video. He had no choice.
Yeah, you got a guy who's running at you with a pistol.
Yeah, I wouldn't have let him run that long. But that's me, But again, like we train for these types of things, and we want to make sure we understand the repercussions of these types of things too. So the whole gamut needs to be covered, not just the firearm skills, but also the legal liabilities. So it's important.
Right. So what kind of training do you end up doing?
So I primarily train with a group out of Utah called TPC. It's Tactical Performance Center. It's run by Rawson Herstoff and Louis Tirona. Louis is the chief up in Northern California, or ex-chief of the Sacramento PD, if I remember correctly. And Rawson is he's a Bulgarian immigrant with an amazing array of security background and an excellent pistol shooter. And for me, I've had to go
Is that Instructor Zero's real name?
No. Rawson is Rawson. And I've really subscribed to the doctrine that they teach there, which is a really fundamental level of training, which teaches 3 things. It's your grip, your stance, and your trigger control really is what controls everything you do. And I've found that training with some of the highest level caliber shooters you can, who have the ability to communicate what's going on and what you're doing and how to teach you things at a really high level, can really help you step up away from a plateau. Because 5 years ago, I really hit a big plateau, and I went out to TBC and was a student there before I became like a part-time instructor for him. And it took me a year and a half to redo all of what I did when I shot a pistol. Like,
what was the difference? Because you start off kind of like what feels good for you, what you're natural with, right?
Right. So they taught me and the students why you grip a gun a certain way, and down to a really, really kinesthetic or like physically aware of how you're doing things, and also how to train, how to grade yourself, getting what's working and how to tell what's working, what's not. Because what works for me is not going to work for someone else, and vice versa. So there's not a right way or wrong way for everything. It is a buffet of skills that you can learn and see what works for you and what doesn't. And then you get a system that helps you measure the output of what you're doing. So it's really analytical if you quite think about it. And I got to train there with Ken Nelson and Ron Avery. And for me, it changed my shooting career. Like, it leveled me up big time. Big time.
And so what do you shoot?
So I shoot pistol wise, I shoot a 2011. So this is a custom built double stack 1911. It's built by a guy out of New York, Dan Bedell.
Hold it up again here. I'll try and remember. We have radio and video, so I kind of have to give it over here. So it's your basic 1911. Who did the the frame.
So this is like a standard STI frame.
Okay.
And then all the other components are machined and fitted by Dan Bedell, kind of to my spec and his spec. And
so you get, and that's a 9mm.
Yeah. I have a 9mm, a couple of 9mm. I also have a 40 cal for USPSA stuff like that. But they're all hand fitted. So when you rack the slide, it's like glass, right? And really the big thing with these guns is they're super accurate, and you can shoot them super fast, and they're going to last a long time. So, I probably have 80,000 rounds through one of my guns, and I think I've changed springs.
Wow.
And I am not known for cleaning guns.
I was going to ask you that because some of these guns, some of the more high-end guns, they get really finicky, and you're shooting in the dirt and stuff. No issues.
So I've shot like hard as hell, which is something we were rolling around in the dirt. I shot Iron Man. No issues. If you drop a mag in the ground and it fills up with dirt, you might have a malfunction, but it'll rack out and you go to the next one. I'm pretty infamous for showing up with a dirty gun, knocking the chunks out, oiling it, go.
I've always had the thing that if the gun gets too dirty to shoot, sell it, go buy another one. Don't buy a used gun from me. It's gonna be dirty as hell. So that's just the way that's gonna work. Folks, Philip Naiman.
Gunsmith gets mad.
Yeah, we need to jump back to a break here. Folks, go to gab.com, Firing Line Radio. Firing Line Radio is where you're going to find this podcast. We'll also be posting it at YouTube. And check out Mike over at wegc.org and get involved here. And we'll be right back after this.
Dog's pacing behind you.
Yeah, you see that? What are you doing, fat dog? Hey. To probably trip on a cord and bring the whole show down. Huh? You okay? Come on. Up. Say hi.
I remember that Kyle video now. That I showed that one to my wife. She's like, "That's gnarly." I'm like, "That's a good shoot right there." I'd been shooting way earlier.
Yeah.
Way
I don't want to say a lot on air, but I think he showed restraint.
Yeah, I think he showed more than most people would have.
Yeah. What do you think about Dr. Fauci? Yeah, she didn't like Dr. Fauci.
Smells funny. That guy's an idiot.
The beagle killer. Okay, go ahead. Fauci. Are you staying in California?
For now. I mean, my kids are in school. Like, after this pandemic bullshit and all the stuff they had to go through, it's like we don't want to move them around anymore. Like,
how old are your
before
kids?
that, I have two girls, 10 and 13. So, yeah, I have to do manly things like wrestle alligators and shoot guns and jump off cliffs and shit like that.
Just to equal out the estrogen in the house.
Yeah, just level the estrogen down.
That's awesome. All right, I think we're ready, boss.
Here we go.
Yes. Great hunter. Yes. Fine figure of a man. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That is all you need to know for now.
Hey, folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. Joining me back here with Mike Bauer. Mike Bauer, the match director and board member of West End Gun Club, WEGC.org. They do have limited memberships available. And I've got to tell you, that's a nice thing to have because especially if you're a hunter or if you like to shoot long range and you just need a place to sight in that's clean and safe, and you really don't want to have some idiot two benches to your left throwing AK-47 brass down your neck, or you're trying to shoot a nice group, and right when you're ready to shoot, they go bang, bang, bang. Somebody with a 223 and a muzzle brake is, look, it's a controlled environment. It's a nice environment. I shoot there all the time. I haven't been there in a while, but I was there every week. And the best part about the NFL is people stay home on Saturday afternoons to watch the game, and the range is absolutely empty. So I go to church, I go to the range afterwards. It's completely empty. And it's just a I love it. So yeah, it's my private range Sunday afternoons because everybody goes home and watch stupid football. See somebody take a knee. Well, I'd rather be shooting at the target than taking a knee or supporting people who are taking knees. Anyway, that's my personal thing. Mike, do you ever do any hunting?
I used to do a little bit of bird hunting. Buddy of mine has a couple bird dogs. He needed somebody who could actually hit the bird because his dogs got really mad when he would miss.
I've seen that.
Yeah. And then what I think the most fun I've ever had hunting was a buddy of mine took me whistle pig hunting up in Idaho. If I could find somewhere to do that around here, I am in. That is fun. That's fun.
So a whistle pig is like a marmot. It's just a weird little
it's like a groundhog.
Super fat ground squirrel. Yeah. And varmint shooting is always kind of fun. And they're destructive. For some reason around my house, we don't have any more ground squirrels. I moved in, they were all over the place. I don't know what happened.
I have gophers for days.
Well, gophers a little harder to handle that way. Get the end of your barrel dirty. All right. So we just got back from Wyoming. I don't know if you know about that, but just did a great trip. And one of the things I want to talk about is kind of planning for next year, right? Mm-hmm. So you're a competitor. You just got into a brand new, or not brand new, but you just got into a shooting competition called the Left Out in Arizona.
Yep.
But you got into that because you've been planning things ahead.
Yes.
And so the calendars come out, and whether it's hunting or competition shooting or anything else that you want to do in 2022, I think this is the time, guys. Get yourself your November through 22 calendar, put it down in ink, and make the commitment to get this done. Whether it's shooting one match a month, which is what I'm going to try and do, whether it's pistol or rifle, shoot one match a month for this coming 12 months. If you want to do hunting, you've got to know when to put your permits in and your applications, and hopefully you'll get drawn, especially if you want to go to Wyoming. We just got back from Wyoming. I don't know how many hundreds of elk I saw. Honestly, this ranch is pretty pathetic. It'll make you think you're a great hunter. I'll post some of the videos of just these herds walking past. It's a great ranch. But if you want to go to Wyoming, you have to put in for your general tag in January, which most guys aren't even thinking about hunting yet. And that's here and there. Right. So plan that out. Take a look at what you want to do.
It doesn't matter if you're hunting or competitive shooting. If you want to be successful, you need to make a plan and train and get ready and do those things that are necessary for you to be successful. So when the moment comes, you don't just fall down on when it's go time.
Exactly. So your training regiment's year round, right? Because this is the sport that you've chosen to work on.
It used to be that the multi-gun season was from like February through June, but now it's really become year round, which makes it a little harder for me to train for. But basically I start ramping up for big matches about 6 weeks ahead of time. And I basically try to shoot as much local matches as I can. And then I'll do some specific practice depending on what is going to be on that match that I'm doing, So what
does this training look like? I mean, a lot of guys, hey, I go to the indoor range, I punch paper. What are you talking about?
So for example, there's a match in Arizona in March that is very long range rifle critical. So I will go and shoot groups with a rifle as best I can do. And then I will go out to a range where I can get 600 yards and go shoot a hit on 100, a hit on 200, a hit on 300, 400, 500, 600. And then I'll get out there and just make my hits. And my goal is to make myself confident in my abilities, know my gear's working, know my ammo's working, all that stuff.
This match in March in Arizona, are you talking about shooting your AR-15?
Yep. So
not
it's
a
long range
gun.
rifle. No, not a bolt gun. My semi-auto AR-15. And there'll be targets out to 500 yards.
And so what optic do you use for that?
So I shoot a class called Limited, which is a non-magnified optic. And I use a Burris AR-1X, which is a prismatic, non-powered optic. It looks kind of like a short scope. It has an etched reticle. It's not a red dot, but it does illuminate. And it gives you the ability to shoot close stuff like a red dot, but then also the refinement you need for long stuff. And with no magnification, seeing stuff at 500 yards is getting tough. And I'm 42 now, so my vision is getting worse. I'm only like 20/20 now.
They told you if you didn't stop, you'd go blind. You didn't believe them, did you?
I suffered a hemorrhage in my eye last year.
Oh,
And it was the first time I've been to the eye doctor in years and years and years. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm going blind. What's happening? He's like, no, you just burst a blood vessel lifting weights. But it was like a dot right in the middle of my eye, and it took like 6 weeks for it to go away. I was a little worried, to be honest with you.
well, I'm glad that healed up okay.
Yeah.
But a 1 power at 500 yards. How big are the targets?
So 500 yards, it'll be like a IPSC target, which is maybe 18 inches wide and 2 feet tall. So pretty big by my standards.
Yeah. But a 1 power is pretty difficult. So on a 1 power, obviously you don't have the ability to dial for your ranges, which is what we like to do.
We don't have
So
the time.
do you have different strata?
Yeah, so that reticle has a tree in it. So I know my holdovers, and I also know where it hits at those BDCs down below it. And then if I'm not shooting limited, I shoot a Swarovski 1:8 scope, which is just an amazing piece of glass.
So why wouldn't you use that in this other competition?
It's just a class you want to shoot. I really enjoy shooting limited for some crazy reason. It's not the most popular class anymore. I just like it. I've enjoyed it for some reason.
All right. So the other things, if you're shooting with a carbine, and we didn't really talk about the pistol carbines, but probably should. If you're shooting with a carbine, a variable scope is a great way to go. So like use a 1:8, 1:6,
1:4,
2:8.
You don't need a ton of magnification.
You don't need a ton of magnification for this, but it's nice to have something like a 6 or an 8 if you want to shoot more precision than a 2-foot target at 500 yards.
Yeah. But I mean, I've shot 8-inch targets at 600 yards with my 1:8 scope, no problem.
Yeah, and you shoot 80,000 rounds a year.
No, probably like 50 or 60.
Okay.
It's hard to find primers right now.
I bet it's hard to get time to sit there and load that sucker. So, hey, let's talk about this, the pistol PCC, the carbine. I think we alluded to it earlier, but if somebody's looking for a self-defense firearm,
that's the way to go.
When you watch people shooting a pistol, and then you watch anybody, ladies especially, shooting a PCC on the range of these competitions, tell us about it.
So, I mean, really, a pistol is just the tool to get you back to your rifle. If you're in a self-defense situation, if you're in a competitive shooting or fun shooting, a 9mm rifle is super fun. It's super easy. You can shoot steel up close.
Very low recoil.
Very low recoil. The ladies, every lady I've taken out who has been like really scared of guns, stuff like that, that's been their preferred gun to shoot is the 9mm rifle.
Because there's no blast, there's no recoil. It's light.
Yeah. It's light. It's not hard. It's not heavy.
And one of the most popular ones, especially for the price point, is the Ruger.
Yep. And they make a ton of great aftermarket stuff. Ton. Like it's, in my opinion, it's the new 1022 of the 2020, right? And the Ruger, it comes with a proprietary mag, but it does have an adjustment. You can put your own Glock magazine in it. And just throw that stock one away and buy a Glock one.
Everybody does. So you can run your Glock 19 or 17 or 34 on your hip and run that PCC, run the same magazines on both.
Yes.
And so for home defense, if you have the correct magazines, it could be much, because you could even put a pressure light on the gun. So for home defense, you could have a open sight. Well, for home defense, you really don't need to have any kind of optics on it, but just open sight. You can have like a mag light or a pressure light, Surefire or Streamlight or something on the side of the gun. Hit it, light it up, and you're able to see your target, deliver your self-defense as needed. And I think that's a great way to go for that. Folks, I want to thank my special guest, Mike Bauer. Mike Bauer, he's a board member of West End Gun Club. I think we've plugged them enough. I should get a free membership, Anyway, so they have limited memberships available. Check them out, wegc.com. Check us out at gab.com/Firing Line Radio. Have a great weekend. We'll see you November 13th, West End Gun Club. God bless.
Bye, guys.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Philip.
About 4 minutes into last section, we had a shit hit the fan.
Did it hit the fan? That means it's everywhere.
I'm just telling you so it doesn't go farther.
Yeah, I caught it.
Okay.
I caught it. My ears catch those things sometimes.
Sometimes. Well, sometimes you're in a bathroom.
Exactly. It's
My bad.
it's the diuretics I take in the morning. They drive me crazy.
It's not a problem. We just catch it and then bounce it out. All right, man. I'm gonna try and make that 13th. I have to be in La Jolla that night, so I'm not sure if I can pull it off, but that'd be fun to get out there.
Done really early, so it's been getting done by like 12:30 or 1, like done and out. So it's definitely doable time wise. So
Maybe just go for a few. Anyway, I have to work that out with the wife. Details.
I have my wife trained on my match schedule now that she asked me like in November when the March match is, so we can make plans and things like that.
Yep. Well,
So
this is her. We're actually taking her down to see Corey Wong that weekend in La Jolla. So that's her weekend. I'll be pinching in on it. Which
I went with my wife to
I'm known to do.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Whoever said that was weird.
It's true.
Things go a lot smoother when your wife's in a good mood. That's what I've noticed.
No kidding.
Right? It's worth the effort.
Well, there's also the other time is like, sometimes when you can't win, you can't win. You have to realize that one too.
You got to know to walk away. Like,
Yeah.
My youngest does not understand this. She's like me. She's win or die. And she's not afraid to die. she's not afraid one bit.
Very cool. All right, man.
Did you hear my mailman like talking to me?
No, what's up?
Yeah. No, he was. So my mailman, he loves my dog. So he usually comes up and pets the dog. But he heard me in here. He's like, "Oh, hey, Mike, how you doing?"
Oh, I didn't catch it.
No, I kind of
That's
ignored
funny.
him, but he knew we were doing something.
Darn, we didn't pick it up. Live radio, live recording. It's great stuff.
Very good. All right, guys. Thank you.
All right. You should hit up those Harrison kids though. They're pretty cool.
So we'll try them on next Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you want anything from me, just send me an email. I can send it to you or whatnot. And if you can send me a link at some point, I'll throw it out on the socials.
It'll be posted this afternoon at gab.com/Firing Radio.
You should just send me a link. It's like copy paste. I'm lazy and I got shit to do. It's not a bad combo.
All right.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you having me on the show again. I'll let you go.
Enjoyed it.
All right.
We'll see you at the field. God bless.
See you, man. Bye.